Well, it's almost time to start the chat. We'll see if anybody comes in before I do, because, yeah. Good afternoon, and all of that. I don't know if there's anybody here. Twitch Jesse says hi. Well, hi there, Jesse. Come and also moderate on YouTube, please, and hit the like button and all of that. I'm not getting YouTube Analytics live, so I'm just trying to work it all out before we get started. Sorry if you're watching back. Going live in 3, 2, 1. Well. She didn't get a notification for YouTube. She's on her way. So if you are subscribed to the channel and you're watching this back, then make sure you've got notifications switched on so that we can get this show on the road more smoothly next time. Wow, it is battering it down with rain here. So I wonder, how are you doing wherever you are? I hope it's not too wet, not too dry. Look, we started to get some decorations here. We've got BB-8, the Sphero one up there, and my Tower of Terror key. God damn, I love my Tower of Terror key. Do you want to see my Tower of Terror key? Even if you don't want to see it, tough, you're seeing it. Check this bad boy out. Oh, and she's metal. She's made of metal. Wonderful. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer you promotion of your channel, says somebody on Twitch. I don't. No, thank you. Twitch bot. No, thank you. We're all good here, talking to ourselves if necessary. We want to grow this thing organically and without bots. Thank you very much, Mr. Bot. But yeah, I see the spam bot as well. I'm addressing the spam bot. Don't you worry. Jesse says it's sunny here. Well, I guess it's always sunny up north, right? Let's put that back. Stay there. That's I love that key. 25 euros worth of key, I might add, but I do love that key. I got a load of theme park stuff that's probably going to end up on the walls over the coming weeks. I've got another couple little shelves to put up. And they may upgrade to bigger shelves indeed. But we shall see. We shall see. I wonder, how is it we are doing this afternoon, this morning, this evening, whenever it is you are watching? Leave a comment, let us know. Let's get into it, because I want to, first of all, before we even start talking about the movie aspect of things, let's start with the theme park, shall we? Because I want to go to this little article here from Blue Loop, blueloop.com, about the explosion at Liseberg Oceana Water Park that destroyed it. I think it was a 100% loss rate, and that thing was being built for a good couple of years. Was on schedule to open this year, and my God, did it go up. Whilst obviously these videos are social media clickbait gold, it is still an absolute tragedy. I believe we still have a person missing. So yeah, and it's really bad for all around. But let's go to this article from Blue Loop. Hopefully I've got my clicker right, and we should be able to see it. There we go. Let's have a look. So, Liseberg to rebuild Oceana Water Park after devastating fire. Swedish amusement park Liseberg has announced it will rebuild the Oceana Water Park after a huge fire broke out at the new attraction. Liseberg's board of directors held a meeting with the crisis management team on Friday afternoon. During the meeting, the board was told that the person reported missing, construction manager Patrick Gilholm, has been found dead. Well, absolute condolences to the family of Patrick and to all of Patrick's friends and to anybody who Wow, that's really sad. But I mean, the only silver lining here is that it wasn't more. That it wasn't more people. That's the only silver lining we can take from this. But from the level of explosion and from the level of destruction on the property, it's a minor miracle that it wasn't more than just Patrick. I believe some people were taken to hospital for injury, but otherwise, everyone else is safe. So, at least we have a silver lining. I guess. I don't know. I digress. Let's get back to the article. It's with great sorrow that the board has received the news that the fire most likely claimed Patrick Gilholm's life, said Kurt Eliasson, chairman of the board. The loss of life puts everything into perspective, and our thoughts go to Patrick's family and close friends. I mean, this thing, it did go up. It really did go up, and it was devastating, as I said. He added, "We have felt tremendous support from everyone involved. The love that the people of Gothenburg and all of Sweden have shown for the project and Liseberg during this difficult time has been invaluable." Eliasson said the devastating fire will not stop the development of the destination. Liseberg, as the park, is an important part of Gothenburg's identity, and this project is a crucial component in the recovery of the West Swedish tourism industry. Now, I absolutely agree. It is a crucial part in the recovery of the West Swedish tourist industry. I have not visited Liseberg in Sweden, and it's sort of on the list. It was a bucket list thing that I am desperate to do at some point. We were planning to hopefully get over with a flight from Stansted to Gothenburg later this year, depending on how well the channel did, to vlog it and to coincide near the opening of Oceana. But it looks like, for obvious reasons, that may be delayed. It's not to say that we won't go out to Gothenburg and visit the theme park side of it, but I wanted to do the entire attraction as a whole, the entire resort destination. So you've got the Grand Curiosa Hotel, which I believe opened last year or the year before, brand new, owned by Liseberg. You've got the Liseberg theme park itself, with what looks like some of the best versions of rides out there. You've got Loki, the giant swing. You've got Helix, the Mack multi-launched coaster built into the hillside. You have the smaller B&M dive machine that looks absolutely stunning. You've got Balder, the wooden roller coaster. These are the sorts of things we wanted to go and document and show off. But we really wanted to go and see it as a whole package when Oceana opened up. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen this year for obvious reasons. Now, that's not to say we won't go and do that in the future, because we probably will. But until Oceana opens up, there's no real reason for us to go and try and do the whole resort. I mean, what we might do is go and try and stay in a cheapy hotel and just do the theme park for a day or two, quick flight over Stansted to Gothenburg and back over. Maybe nearer the end of the year. Once again, depends how the channel does. But we continue. I'm going to make sure I press the right buttons here. He added, "We have felt tremendous support from everyone involved." We've done all of that. The board has unanimously agreed to instruct Liseberg's management to investigate and start planning for how a reconstruction can take place. And then we have the man found dead, which absolutely sucks. But like I said, it's a minor miracle that it wasn't far more, considering the level of destruction. I think, like I said, it's a 100% loss rate. They didn't just lose the slides and the slide tower. They lost the entire pool hall. The entire thing has gone up. And so close to opening as well, which is just so sucky and so sad for absolutely everybody involved over there. Make sure, by the way, you're clicking the like button if you haven't already, and that's not just to anybody watching live, that's also to people watching back. And if you are lurking, then say hello, say hi in the chat. That would always be pretty cool. We'd enjoy that. How did it go up so quickly? Well, it wasn't actually as quickly as it appears in the video, Jess. It started on the outside of the building. It spread quickly through the pool hall, and then it blew up the slide towers. Remember, this is a water park, and water parks run primarily on gas because they have to heat the water. They have to keep the water at a certain constant temperature. So there's a lot of gas involved in the building, and that was obviously going to be a mix of, well, a recipe, shall we say, for disaster. And up went the building. Like I said, it appears to be a 100% loss. It's unfortunate, but that's where we are for the moment. And anything else that happens on that situation, we will obviously make a video here, or we'll talk about it on a live stream, and we'll just keep you updated, because that's what we're doing mostly at the moment. We're doing a lot of studio-based stuff because we can't do much more. We have to wait until next month to be able to afford to get a Merlin pass, pay the upfront costs on a monthly Merlin pass, so we can start doing more vlogs and reviews and things like that. But speaking of Merlin, I have had a lengthy conversation with the head of accessibility, and this was on the phone, for Merlin Entertainment in the UK, specifically the theme park division. And we spoke about some concerns of guests, and some things have been clarified for me. Now, I said to Kate, the young lady on the phone, that still, even with the clarification, some of the things weren't ideal. She explained to me the reasons that they are taking the decisions that they are taking, and I understand it, because from their perspective, the ride access queues, specifically at Alton Towers, well, especially at Alton Towers, were in peak days reaching longer wait times than the standby queue. So what's the point in having a ride access system if you're actually waiting longer as a disabled person to access the ride than, let's say, you know, the general member of public standing in the queue? So I understand where they're coming from. And I understand why they are putting in this please pre-book and pre-visit your days on the park, so that we know to issue you a ride access pass or whatever. But there are some problems that I have with it, and they are problems that they are willing to discuss in person and sit down with me on camera and absolutely discuss. So I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful for that conversation. We made our intentions to film accessibility guides as well as theme park reviews and the like. We made that very well known, and they were very excited about that. So if you're watching the channel, if this is your first time watching the channel or anything, we've got a playlist called Accessibility Guides, and you can go to that playlist and find accessibility guides for both Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Park, and Disneyland Paris Walt Disney Studios. So over the course of this year, we intend to extend those to the Merlin attractions, and so those attractions being, at the very least, Chessington World of Adventures, Legoland Windsor Resort, Alton Towers Resort, and Thorpe Park Resort. And Merlin themselves have stated their intention to get behind us, to give us the resources and the correct information we need to produce those accurately and in an entertaining fashion, and meet with us so that we can continue to do this. Very positive conversation. Like I said, there are still certain things that don't sit 100% well with me, especially as if anyone's new to this channel, I am a disabled man, and Lisa and Ollie, who work behind the scenes with me as well, are also disabled, and John's just Scottish. But so this personally affects us, this personally affects our lives, and it personally affects how we interpret and talk about the accessibility policies at the resort. But the clarifications have been, I think, necessary, because I don't think it's translating well in print. So the more we can work with them, they've agreed to keep in contact, they'd love to meet with us, the better we can help people with disabilities access these parks for years to come. It's not just about doing it this year. This year is about getting those guides down on film, edited and put out. But they're there for a resource. They're there for any disabled person to be able to come to and watch and visually see and physically hear how you access these systems, how you access these rides. And that's why we're doing it, because we care about this stuff. We care about it greatly because it affects us personally. So yeah, that is the situation with Merlin at the moment. Communication is ongoing, communication is strong, and they are more than willing to have those conversations with us, which I can only say is a very positive step forward. And of course, we did get a little bit cheeky and say, well, you know, from the perspective of disabled people, maybe we could cover some press events and go to the openings of some of these things. I know we're not a huge channel, but you never know. You never know. So you don't ask, you don't get at the end of the day. And we are trying to cover these things from a different perspective. Yes, we'll do the vlogs, you know, having a day out at the park and having fun and showing you what you're doing and what we're eating and what we're riding and all of that. But it's from a different perspective. And we hope that more companies in the future will be willing to work with us as we grow the channel, as we grow the community, as we grow resources. So that's just as it stands at the moment with Merlin, and very positive, I would say. Very, very positive. So I'm going to go to the chat. There are a couple of people chatting, and they are talking about John being a grumpy Scottish man. Well, yes, but you know, it is what it is. Shalini says, nice day here for a change. Was shocked the sun has popped out. Well, the sun certainly has not popped out where I am, Shalini. It is on off raining heavily, just less than 100 miles south of you. So be fortunate, go out on your balcony, breathe it in and enjoy it whilst you can, because we simply don't know how long it will last. Okay. Shall we move on then? I'm going to move on to... I want to look at Nemesis Reborn. Nemesis Reborn, which is 3 weeks to go, because I want to play a quick clip. Hopefully there's no sound on it. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that, but I'll mute it anyway. Alton Towers are now very much ramping up the marketing for Nemesis Reborn. And for those who don't know what Nemesis Reborn is a Bolliger and Mabillard roller coaster, inverted roller coaster. In fact, I believe it was the second of its kind, certainly the first in Europe. The first in the world, I believe, was Batman the Ride at Six Flags, if memory serves. But it's got, what, 4 or 5 inversions? I think 4. So corkscrew, stall, vertical loop, twist over the station, helix, further twist. Yeah, 4 inversions. Goes upside down 4 times. And it's built down into a pit, and the station is all designed to be the Nemesis creature. Anyway, it was opened in 1994. So this is its 30th anniversary. But at the end of 2022, they tore that thing down. Tore it to the ground. And completely replaced the track. Well, I say completely, the lift hill and the brake run. Still original track, though they have replaced the brakes with a magnetic braking system, which should be interesting. But a complete one-for-one reconstruction of Nemesis with brand new colour scheme, black track with red blood veins running all over it. I'm not going to lie, it looks really good. And I'll find some pictures of it in a minute. But opens in just 3 weeks from the day of this broadcast, March the 16th, 2024. They have completely revamped the station, revamped the creature. There have been some spoilers floating about over on X/Twitter because they craned in a new piece of theming yesterday. I'm not going to say what that is because there are some people who simply don't want it spoiled for some reason. But there are... So they've craned in this new piece of theming. But the marketing for the rebuild of Nemesis, so it can, you know, thrill and excite guests for 30 years to come, is in full force. And this video, yeah, you should see it, has surfaced as a piece of marketing from Alton Towers. We'll just take a look. Oh, look at that. It's quite creepy, really, isn't it? It's a big eye. I think it's just a balloon. And they let it loose into the sky. But it's a big old balloon because the new theming on the Nemesis creature is going to focus on this one giant eye. And opening Saturday, 16th of March, it looks like it's going to be really good. Well, I say it looks like it's going to be really good. I've ridden Nemesis tons of times. I've ridden Nemesis tons of times at Alton Towers, and it's going to be... It may feel different. Brand new trains, new restraints. It may feel a lot smoother. I mean, it was never really rough in the first place, but it may feel a lot smoother with a brand new track and new trains. But the marketing is indeed in full force now, and Nemesis will be reborn at Alton Towers. I'm just trying to find some images. So these are from Towers Times. Look, I'll take you to these. These aren't that spoilery. So this is the retheming of the station going quite well. They're evolving the creature to make it look a bit different. And look, this is the track now with the black with the red blood veins running all through it, and it really does. It stands out. I've never seen a roller coaster track quite like it. It really stands out, and it makes a statement, and it says, "I am here. Ride me." We've got some more pictures here. Oh, look, we've got is that a pile driver? I'm not sure. Or lighting. And this is the top of the first lift hill, the turnaround section, and then it drops down into the first inversion. Pretty much halfway down the first drop, it rolls into a massive corkscrew, and it is quite intense. You know, Jesse, it sounded wrong on purpose. It was by design. And I think I made the point. Okay, what else have we got? This is a bit of marketing material. I put it on the thumbnail, but this is a bit of marketing material. As you can see, the creature itself with the giant eye and then the teeth surrounding the eye are going to be a big feature of the new station. So there's going to be a giant animatronic eye. I don't know if it's going to be animatronic. Let's face it. First and foremost, this is Merlin Entertainment. And as much as I do enjoy the rides that they build, theming has never really been Merlin Entertainment's strong suit. I'm not trying to knock them. I said this before in another video. And I'm hoping that if Universal Studios Great Britain gets built, then it will force Merlin Entertainment to step up their theming game. Step it right up. Make it a lot better. I think with Nemesis and what they're doing and the way they are retheming this and the love they are showing this classic, what used to be called the world's most intense ride experience, the new track with the veins all over it and, well, a brand new rebuild from the ground up. Special care and attention taken to the station. I honestly think they are starting to think about it. They've even put in planning permission already to build a new ride down in Forbidden Valley where Nemesis is, and it looks like it could see the return of a top spin, maybe not named Ripsaw as the previous one was, but we're seeing a possibility of something, put it that way. I mean, let me just look at this picture from Thrill Pics over on X and just look at this. The detail on this track, that it doesn't need to be there. It doesn't have to be there. There's absolutely no reason for them to have done this except to look pretty bloody awesome. And it does, okay? When I first saw the pictures of this track in the back of a shipping container, I thought this, maybe not. But now it's together and ready to go, and it's been sending trains around the track for a good month and a half now. It looks, I mean, look, this here, from the same creator, is the original Nemesis track. This is the original Nemesis track and the original Nemesis train. Grey colour. The rust was painted on. It was real. Well, it wasn't real rust. It was a part of the design, but still, from that to what is just absolutely, it makes a statement. Nemesis Reborn makes a statement. I'm just trying to find some testing footage for all of you. Vaughn wants to go to Japan now, to go to Nintendo World or whatever it is called. We will go there ourselves in just a few minutes, Shalini. We will go to Japan ourselves in just a few minutes. Okay, here we go. I have some footage here of Reborn testing. Let's have a look together, shall we? Right. So, here we go. Full of water dummies, as you can see. Goes round the giant stool turn. Hits the loop. Look at that. That looks like so much fun. And do you know how I know it looks like fun? Because I've ridden the original version, which is absolutely identical, and as have many people, and know this is fun. And I am so glad that they decided with this rebuild to completely stick to the original layout, because there was absolutely no need whatsoever to do anything but stick to the original layout. It's not perfect. No ride is, as I said in my Big Thunder Mountain review. Go watch that over on the channel, of course. But the original layout has always been great. It's always been fun. They tried to take the Nemesis name and do Nemesis Inferno at Fort Park. As far as I'm concerned, despite the fact it is a an inverted coaster hanging under the track, built by the same manufacturer, B&M, Bolliger and Mabillard. I just think it is an inferior ride. The original Nemesis is far superior in every way, and now especially theming, okay? But the fact that it's built down, you know, they had to blast that pit out. It's built down into that pit because Alton Towers, for those who don't know, are actually not allowed to build above the tree line. So they have to get very creative with the way that they construct these coasters. And it involves a lot of pit digging. And it involves a lot of pit blasting. So the way that they built this into the terrain, the intensity, the fact that it really does in some places feel like it picks up some hell of a speed. But yeah, I mean, we got another video here from the BBC. Let's check this out, because the BBC were actually allowed to go onto the site and film, because of course they were. It's the BBC. And it's looking really good. I mean, those are earlier test runs, and it was barely making that loop at that point. But as the brand new trains are warming up, and they are, you know, completing the circuit. Oh, yes, baby. Yes. I'm so looking forward to being able to get back on this. I am unable to make it for March 16th, barring a miracle. I am unable, because I'd have to, it's a 5-hour drive for me. I would have to stay on site, so at either Alton Towers or Splash Landings Hotel. Splash is obviously the cheapest of the two. Probably sold out at this point anyway. And rocking around in my mobility scooter in those crowds on opening day, not gonna be fun. Not gonna be fun at all. Once again, Jesse, I see in the chat, says, I want to go. I also want to go, right? I also want to go. And having spoken to Kate, who is based at Alton Towers, accessibility director for all of the theme parks in Merlin, UK. When I do get up there, when I do get up to Towers later in the year, we're going to have that accessibility discussion, and we'll talk about Nemesis, and she said she'll give me some insider information on some stuff as she can as well. So really looking forward to that. And it's so nice to be able to build positive relationships with these companies, because yes, this channel's about having fun. Yes, this channel's about reviewing theme parks, hotels, movies, but it's also about the disabled. And you know what? That is my main focus. Before it was called The Real Review UK, before we dropped out of the content game for several years doing this, it was called Disabled YT. And that mission has never gone away. That mission to provide that information. Because I want people who maybe think twice about going to these places and doing these things to actually think, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that information has been given to me in such a way that I think I can do it. Because we are kind of left to the wayside, and, you know, we are an afterthought in society, the disabled are. But we are thought about by these companies, mostly because of legal requirements and the Equalities Act and things like that. But people don't know that there are provisions in place for them to be able to experience and access these attractions. So that's that's the mission. That's the goal. And I'm not talking about just Disneyland Paris and just these 4 Merlin UK theme parks. I'm going to get in contact with Blackpool Pleasure Beach here in the UK, but I'm also going to start putting the feelers out to much bigger companies internationally, because this doesn't exist. And we are in a position with 3 disabled people on the team to make this happen. There's other things like Lisa for example, is off to Disneyland Paris again in a couple of weeks, I think, just in a couple of weeks. But she's going to get some footage of like the brand new Sky Parade and things like that so we can put it on the channel. But she's also going to do a disabled accessible travel guide to get from King's Cross St Pancras, or St Pancake as we like to call it, to Disneyland Paris via the Eurostar. We're gonna get that footage. I might do the narration, but she's gonna get that footage on how you go down the accessible lines and all of that. I will be sent the raw footage and do my behind the scenes magic of editing, and we will get that out there. So that is, I know it's boring to some who aren't disabled to talk about these sorts of things, but these sorts of things affect a lot more people than you might think, because there's not just physical disabilities. I have physical disabilities and autism. My son has autism. Lisa has autism. John's just Scottish. And, you know, it is what it is, but hopefully we can do some good in this world, and that's really what we want to do. And everyone that clicks that sub button, everyone that clicks that like button, everyone that shares one of our videos, be it one of the accessibility guides, be it one of the movie reviews or one of the theme park reviews, are helping us towards that goal. And that goal is to just do some freaking good. I was gonna swear there, but we're trying to keep this channel as family friendly as possible, and if we do swear in the vlogs, we'll probably either just cut it out or stick a beep on it. Like a beep. You know how it is. You know how it is. So let's talk about Universal Studios in Great Britain, because I've seen a bunch of comments on my video. And people are saying things like Harry Potter has got to come here, and you know, Jurassic World has got to come here to the UK park, and Super Nintendo World has got to come to the UK park. And whilst yes, I agree, and I do agree in sentiment, and I do agree, not in such a way that damages the US, specifically the Floridian parks, because Universal Destinations and Experiences are making it, as far as I'm aware, very clear behind the scenes that they cannot copy / clone rides from the Floridian specifically parks into the potential UK resort. Now, that's not to say, and I've said this before, but I think it needs reiterating. That's not to say that Super Nintendo, Harry Potter, Jurassic World won't come to the UK parks. They just won't come to the UK parks, and I say parks plural because there's plenty of space on the land they've purchased to build two, in the form that they are in the Floridian resort. So you're not gonna see Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. You're not going to see Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. You're not going to see Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, or whatever this new Ministry of Magic ride is called. You might see Flight of the Hippogriff, because that's just a tiny little kiddies coaster that gets cloned. It's an off-the-shelf model. So you may see that. You're not going to see Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. You're not going to see the Yoshi. You're not going to see the Donkey Kong minecart ride. These things are very likely not happening in a potential UK park. And the reason is that they have 1 million UK visitors a year visiting Universal Orlando Resort. And if you start cloning those rides to within 2 hours, because the reason they've chosen this site in Bedford is because they are within 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, of 70% of the UK population. So if you've got a park within 3 hours drive time of 70% of the UK population, what's the point in them getting on a plane and going to the Florida resort, for spending money at hotels, the theme parks, the water park, and everything there, when they can just come to the British resort that's within hours of their home and experience the same attractions. I understand the thinking. They also want to attract that US audience that already go to the American parks to come and experience something new. They're not going to get that with the Beijing park, which does have a lot of new attractions in it, because a lot of Americans specifically don't want to travel to China. There's a very contentious relationship geopolitically between the US and China. So that's not to say that some of the rides at the Beijing Universal Studios won't make an appearance in the UK park, because they very well may. And if the Jurassic Park Adventure, the new indoor dark ride, or Jurassic World Adventure, the new indoor dark ride over at Universal Beijing, makes its way to the UK park, that to me looks like the single best dark ride in the world. So I'm just going to try and I'm doing this on the fly because I'm doing it live. So what I'll do is I'll see if I can find a video of it. Jurassic World Universal Beijing. Okay. And we'll watch a little video of it together. It's okay. I'm just going to mute this video. All right, make sure that YouTube is muted because I don't want a copy strike. Let's skip that. So this is the Jurassic World Adventure here. We'll skip to the actual ride itself. This thing looks like the single best ride in dark ride in the world. So let's take a look together. Let's just watch a ride through here. This is from Theme Park 101 over on YouTube, by the way. Theme Park 101, whose channel we are watching right now. And we're just watching their little ride through here of this ride. So this ride here, no, Vaughn did not send me that, Shalini, but I will show you a video of Mario Kart Bowser Challenge in a bit. Anyway, we might as well do that. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, of course, and if you want to become a channel member from just 99p a month, like our wonderful Jessie here has, then please click that join button. So this is, like I say, the Jurassic World Adventure. I am going to just readjust the screen a little bit so you see more of that and less of me. Let's make it a bit bigger. So it's a mixture of screens and animatronics. So animatronics being robots. You're in a vehicle, you're traveling along a track, and it looks absolutely insane. I would love this ride to come to the British Park. And it's not out of the realms of possibility that this ride, it chases you. I don't know if it's this one specifically. No, it's not this one specifically. It could be, I'm not sure. But there is one that actually chases you along the track, which is absolute sodding madness. Absolute madness. But the dinosaurs have escaped. You're going around Jurassic World. This is the Beijing park, as I say. So you're waiting to just get to the next wow factor, the next wow moment. And these animatronic dinosaurs, these robotic dinosaurs, are just that wow factor. I mean, that's just swung its tail at your vehicle, and your vehicle spins out of control. I mean, they've just thought about everything here. That's one of them gyrospheres from the Jurassic World movie. Motorbike on the screen. The mixture of screens and animatronics is just perfect, because screens are only used at the points that they really have to be, and it just looks so good. It's blended so well. Bryce Dallas Howard there with her flare. They're getting the T-Rex out now, so they're getting the T-Rex out on the screen. So I assume we're about to see a full-size. Universal are becoming the king of themed entertainment. They really, really are. And like I say, you've gone from the animatronic to the screen there. The mix of animatronics and screens is just right. So the final fight here happening on screen, because you couldn't do it this big and this smooth with animatronics. So that's the Jurassic World adventure. And that could possibly come to the UK park, because it's not in any of the US parks. It's in Beijing, Universal Studios Beijing, and there are people calling it the best dark ride in the world. And honestly, I think it might well be the best dark ride in the world. And it's in China. So the difference, for those who aren't in the know, because I know some of the people watching live, as well as some of the people that will be watching back, don't maybe subscribe to theme park language. A dark ride is a ride that's indoors and is not a roller coaster, essentially. And a roller coaster is a roller coaster. And a flat ride is a ride that's on a flat base, and usually they spin around in some way, or they do a swing or something like that. So when I'm talking about dark rides, flat rides, and roller coasters, there are big differences between the three. And yeah, that could come to the UK park. I tell you what can't, and this is for Shalini and Vorm when he watches it back. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge cannot come to the UK park, but that's not to say that Super Nintendo World can't come with a brand new set of theming and a brand new set of rides. And this is from Attractions 360. We're going to skip the adverts here. And once the adverts are skipped, I will put it up for you. Unfortunately, YouTube are going heavy on ads at the moment. So, this is the Mario Kart attraction. We'll take it back to the beginning. I mean, Super Nintendo World is insane. This is sheer insanity. The fact that something like this has been built with this level of theming, and I mean, this is the small version of Super Nintendo World that's just opened at Universal Studios in Hollywood. But there's no point, I think, in going to this, because it only has the one ride, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. It doesn't have the Donkey Kong Minecart Coaster, and it doesn't have the Yoshi Adventure Ride. So they built this entire Super Nintendo World all around the one ride. The one in Japan is about to open the third Super Nintendo World ride in the Donkey Kong Minecart Coaster. And obviously, Epic Universe in Orlando is doing the whole shebang. So when it opens, it will open with all three of the major attractions. But right now, this is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge once again from Attractions 360 degrees, or go and subscribe to them if you haven't already. And we are on the ride. It's a game. It's an interactive game as well as a ride experience, because you're wearing these AR glasses. You've got to put on the little Mario cap. And there's AR stuff happening in front of you that you won't be able to see through the camera. Unless... But look. It's heavily screen-based. It's heavily scene-based. But it doesn't go very fast. I will say this. This is my one criticism of the Mario Kart ride. It don't go very fast for a Mario Kart ride, does it? But this is what you get to experience if you're riding Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. I mean, you have to give it to Universal. You have to give it to Universal. The level of theming that they are now building into these attractions is I'm sorry, Disney, and I love you, but it puts Disney to shame. It really does. We would love to get out to Japan and experience the Japanese version, obviously before Epic Universe opens at the end of next year, because when Epic Universe opens, probably delayed to the end of 2025 by the looks of things, because it used to say summer, now it doesn't. But we'd love to get out to Japan to see this and experience this and ride this, and obviously bring you guys along for the ride as well, and show you how accessible Universal are making their parks. Because I don't know how accessible Universal are making their parks. Last time I went to a Universal park nearly 20 years ago, and I wasn't as unwell as I am now. Yeah, they really have thought about everything when designing these attractions. Universal got very lazy for a fair few years, and they just, anything and everything, they were just, right, blank attraction, put a screen in it, put a screen in it. We used to call them Universal Screenios, because it used to be all about screens. But now, look at this. And that's all I can really say, is just look at the sheer scale of what they have built here. And the surrounding area. The Universal Studios Super Nintendo World. And like I say, you've got a little steering wheel, and it's got a button to shoot, and you're seeing things in front of your eyes via this AR visor that you can't see here. So this is actually only half of the experience that we are watching right now. There is an extra dimension, because obviously it's Mario Kart, it's a game, and you get to shoot things, don't you? Like you shoot the shells and you shoot the bananas and stuff like that. We've got the final boss here, the final Bowser, by the looks of it. He's screen-based, but with practical effects built in as well. And then I believe we go to the Rainbow Road, which is one of the most famous levels in Mario Kart. And they use projections well in this to make it seem like you're going faster than you actually are. Because like I said, it looks kind of disappointing. Looks kind of disappointing in so much as you would have hoped that there would have been a really fast section, but what they do is they use projections like this to make it seem like you're going way faster than you are, which I guess works well, but still. Yes, Shalini, the AR glasses are showing you things like, and you can shoot things and you'll see your shells flying and stuff like that. It's very, very clever. It's very clever indeed. It's very technologically advanced. And that is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. The world's first Mario Kart ride, and it's already been produced in 3 different places. So we've got that version of it, which is in Hollywood. We have Universal Studios Osaka in Japan, who have the original. And there's a 3rd version of it being built right now at Epic Universe. And I don't think it will come to Universal Studios Great Britain. But that's not to say that Super Nintendo will not come to Universal Studios in Great Britain. That's not to say Mario won't come to Universal Studios in Great Britain. It will just be in a different form. Same as Harry Potter. It would be insane for Universal not to have a Harry Potter presence. A film series that is set in the UK. It would be insane not to bring that presence to their UK park. So I believe that they will bring that presence to their UK park. It's just not going to happen in the same way as we see it in the Floridian parks, because they want us to still get on the plane and go. And do you know what? I would love to get on the plane and go. But it all depends. Like I say, we want to be there at the opening of Epic Universe. But that all depends on the success of this channel. And the way this channel gets success is by people clicking the subscribe button, people clicking the like button during streams, and people just predominantly supporting us. I mean, you can go and find us on Patreon as well. at patreon.com/realreviewuk. You can find us on Twitch at Real Review UK, where this show is streaming right now. If you're watching on Twitch, hello. You can find us. We'll be doing more social media, I guess. At Real Reviews Live, I think it is, maybe on Twitter, X. I'll get a link for that put up at some point. But go look for the Real Review UK on X, and you will find us. And just generally showing support. I mean, Patreon, our Patreon community is free to join. So you can go to patreon.com/realreviewuk and join our Patreon community completely free. And then if you want to support us on the paid tiers, you can. But otherwise, you can join us, you can become a member, you can whatever, it's free. We've set up so that you guys can come and find us over there, join us over there, completely free. And with the channel memberships, with the join button, much to the chagrin of other people involved in the channel, I've set the channel memberships from a level as little as 99p. Because every 58p, because that's what we get, full disclosure, we get 58p a month from every 99p. But every 58p a month that we do get is 58p a month towards improving the content, improving the channel, and giving us the ability to do this further afield. So, I was going to talk about some movies. I don't know if I need to. I think we're at an hour now. We've spoken about a few theme park projects here in the UK. And if you're watching this back rather than watching it live, as I know many people did with our last live stream, so thank you very much for that, then thank you. And don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and just share us out. Share us out. Help us grow so that we can have a laugh. We can have a laugh, we can support disabled people, and we can continue to do what we are doing here. This channel is a passion of mine. This channel is something I have held on to for 6 years. It is something we've only really once again seriously been working on for the last few months. And I hope it grows. I hope you come along for the ride. And yeah, I just want to thank absolutely everybody that has supported us so far. I'm going to get out of here. I will leave you be. I will say thank you once again from the bottom of my heart. You guys don't know how much we appreciate the support. And we will see you again very, very soon. So goodbye for now.